a long time ago.
Family, I'm telling you, family.
No, I graduated from high school in 1955. There were 16 in my graduating class. There were 8 boys and 8 girls. One of the more exciting points of my high school career was when in the 9th grade, we had 4 new girls come into our class. And they came from one-room schools all around the countryside. So it was a while ago. Girls had pretty good athletics in those days, and they went to the girls' basketball district tournament 3 years in a row, in 53, 54, 55. I carried a lunch to work. The school we went to was the old 3-story building. Grade school was on the first floor, junior high was on the second floor, and high school we were on the 3rd floor. And it had an assembly hall and 3 rooms and a restroom. And it was rather modest. The only thing that's still from the old school when I was there was that old gymnasium. This was Bill Hardin's pasture. Our coach was Dale Munson. Superintendent of schools was Todd Stransbury. We had no track. In fact, the first football field was, I'm not sure where I'm at right now, but kind of over there. And I was telling them before, the local farmers had their own power lines going out to their farms, and the Iowa Power Light then came in and took power out to the farms. And so Dad and others gave their poles and transformers so the school could have lights. Now, our first football game on that new field, there was no grass. It was newly worked soil and marble-sized stuff like that. We went out with football cleats, and that didn't work, so we changed to tennis shoes, and we played on marbles for the first game. We played football 4 years. We played 11-man football, and we never had 22 people for a single game in that 4 years. The least was 14. We had 3 guys on the sideline. I started pole vaulting when I was a kid. Dad got me started, and it was a broom handle. And then we had a chicken house, and the chicken roost were old saplings that had been cut years before, and they had dried out. And so I took a chicken roost when I was in junior high, and that was my pole for pole vaulting. And it was about 7 foot tall, and I'd hold to the top of that pole, and that's when I learned how to pole vault. Well, Dad bought, school didn't have a track, and Dad bought me a pole. But it hadn't come yet, and the first track meet I ever went to was in the 8th grade, and the first time I ever held a real pole, and the thing was 14 foot long, and I thought, oh, this is good. So I grabbed a hold up there about 10 or 12 foot, and I didn't get 3 feet off the ground. Did a mid-course correction and lowered the grip, and I actually placed in that first junior high meet. So anyhow, the state track meet was good. The indoor track meet, the state indoor track meet, in those days, the indoor, that was at the University of Iowa, and the indoor track was dirt, and the same was draped. And those were the only 2 times I competed indoors, and they would water the tracks down so to keep the dust down. Well, they watered the track too much at the high jump takeoff pit, and all of us, we'd go in there and try to high jump, and our foot would slip. And only one guy had a good jump, while all the rest of us were kind of messed up. But anyhow, we were able to win the pole vault, and my brother did some stuff, and then we went to the state meet, and were able to win that. The one thing I remember in the high jump is you talk to the guys, and I talked to this guy, and I said to this kid, how high can you go? He said, high enough to win this. And I went over, the fan base was Mom and Dad. And I told Dad, I said, this guy says he can win high enough, Dad just beat him. So it was great, and to celebrate, we came home, and the folks took us out to eat, and we got a malt. And then after that, we went home and milked the cows. It was great. And from an academic standpoint, it was quite satisfactory. I was able to go on to college, but they didn't have any entrance exams, so I was able to get in.